everyone. My name is Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to Docu-Sweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV.
And docu-series. But at the same time, it's also through our lens, my loves. And that lens can be a salty water, lemon water. It also could be an unsweetened iced tea. But at the end of the day, when you drink it down, it should be mildly sweet. Hi!
Hi. So this is 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 7, Episode 1, and suddenly everything changed. Girl, Season 7. What do you feel about that, Chris?
Nothing's changing, honey. Nothing is changing except the Sharp Entertainment's definition of what happily ever after should be. Because we've been around the block with them. We understand that happily ever after is what happens after you get married from the foreigner and or the American and their journey. But we have couples on here, honey, who are not happily ever after. They're not married, and some of them are not even foreigners. So it's like, where are we now? What is space and what is time? Hi.
Yeah. So just as a disclaimer, guys, Chris and I are not going to be talking about Ed and Liz. I mean, we say that, but there might be something exclusive that happens that we have to just like comment on, but we're not going to be talking about them. We don't like them. They are not a 90-day fiance couple. They're both from San Diego, California, and Ed is a horrendous individual. The same thing goes, well, never mind. Horrendous individual is the end of that sentence. So we do have some 90-day happily ever after couples, and that would be Shida and Bilal, which were new to this or just got thrown on. We have Jenny and Sumit, and we've, all the rest of them. So we're going to have a hee hee ha ha good time talking about them. But Chris, let's start with our first couple, and that is Jenny and Sumit. Chris,
your favorite. I mean, you love this couple. You've been loving this couple. Wa's obsessed with this couple. Now, I'll be honest, I'm excited for Wa because she can talk about someone she likes. I cannot believe that we have to have a whole other season and it's about his fucking parents. So how is this title of the show Suddenly Everything Changes when nothing has changed?
I mean, listen, I don't know. I'm going to tell you right now. I do not know. However, Jenny and Sumit are great for me. To me, they are what the show is about. Just like two people from two different worlds trying to make it work and the struggle therein. So the first scene that we have with them is there's some like sounds that like the sound that doesn't match what we're seeing is an aerial view, and we see some very serious roller skaters, and I'm like, where is this? And then all of a sudden we see an older woman hand tying a skate, and we see a middle-aged brown hand tying a skate, and then it's Jenny and Sumit. And I said, Sumit has got Jenny out here on skates, and Mama hasn't skated in years, and this is the result. If you guys are not watching this on our Patreon, then you don't see the amazing picture of Jenny on her behind with loud ass pink leggings, a black, I don't know, tank top, and then like a leopard white sweater over it. And I want to know, what is the weather like in India to where she is wearing a sweater?
No, first of all, okay, now I understand that's a tank top, the black thing. Let me look it back. I thought those were hot pants. Okay, so I thought she was wearing leggings, the shortest black hot pants ever. And then listen, that leopard sweater, that's what happens when you're sweaty in that sweater. And she that she gets sweaty in that sweater. That sweater, that leopard sweater, like became a whole thing where I feel like a bunch of girls got it for some reason, like 2 years ago. Like, I don't know if it was like selling at Neiman's or, I'm sorry, not Neiman's, Nordstrom's, like maybe BP, or I'm not quite sure, but Brass Plum, I'm not quite sure if that still exists. But she fell, honey, and both Juan were like, no, like, like, doesn't look good, I mean, so I won't roller skate. I don't want to fall, honey. And I'm, these bones are a little less seasoned, is what I would say.
Yeah, I honestly felt like I'm so glad that she has been taking her calcium pills. She's been taking her silver. What is that? Oh man, the joke fell out of my mind.
Silver Coke.
It's like Seacrum Silver or something. It's in the States. It's a brand of vitamins. But anyways,
Centrum.
So, huh?
Centrum Silver.
I don't know.
It is. I'm right.
Oh. Okay, great. Centrum Silver. Good. And we're scared to watch it. So we're scared to watch her fall. So Jenny and Sumit have been married for 2 months, and they have recently moved across town to avoid having any kind of confrontation with his parents because they've gotten married and the parents are not aware yet. And Sumit feels like if they were in the town, or a lot of people know, and if they were on the same side of town, then his parents would eventually find out, and they'd be so mad to find out, from someone else. So Sumit has decided to invite his parents over to their old house, the house they think that they still live in, so that he can tell them about the wedding finally. Chris?
I don't understand so many things. First of all, yes, like who's living in that house? You can just like willy-nilly go in the house. Same thing as like remember when like Bilal still had access to his old house too? I'm like, I don't understand how you have accesses to your old homes. Like I'd like to go back to my childhood home and just like spend a night there too, but I don't think I can. People live there. Their new place, by the way, much more modern, looks completely different than their old place. Yeah, so he Sumit and Jenny go to a restaurant where, they are enjoying some beverages. And I guess one thing in India is that they will just serve you like some salty lemon water. Now, I know that it's healthy. It's a whole thing right now as like a influencer wellness thing to start your mornings with hot lemon water as like a digestive aid. I think that the salty lemon water probably is a health thing. I'm right now drinking, where is it? Like electrolyte water, which is basically salty water. So I'm wondering if it's like a electrolyte kind of, putting potassium in your body. I think it's probably very good. She does not like it, which, listen, that makes sense. At this restaurant meeting, Sumit then tells Jenny, guess what? My parents want to hang out. And Jenny's like, no, do I have to be there? And he's like, yeah. I'm actually surprised. If I were Jenny, I'd be like, cool, you can go hang out with your parents. Like, I would never have been like, do I have to be there? I'd be like, great, they don't want to see me anyway. They only want to see you. I don't like Jenny somehow inserts herself in it. And then Sumit, I feel like, is like, well, I think it'd be good to have a united front. But I feel like if Jenny had just off the bat been like, oh, your parents want to see you, have fun, then none of this would have happened. But we have to have some sort of drama, my love, because we're all on a television show, right, Wa?
Yeah, I don't know that it would have been that. I think that Sumit just really wants Jenny to play ball in a way that she's incapable of for two reasons. One, because she is older and seasoned and set in her own ways and doesn't want to be judged, which I'm like, girl, who are you to say that? And two, she's culturally just from a completely different society, and she refuses to acclimate to her husband's like feelings towards his family. She tries to somehow convince him that like they should just keep it quiet because she doesn't want to have to deal with it, but also that like his parents just need to come around and realize that they love each other. And I say, Jenny, stop saying that. They are from a culture in which the love marriages are probably just as equal or less than the arranged marriages. And so marriages is not about love. You keep saying that as though like that's going to trigger something, and it's not. The fact is that their eldest son is with a woman who cannot bear them children, and now the family structure of what culturally they know to be the most prosperous and the best is not going to happen for them. Not even if they're like, 33-year-old astrologer tells her to leave the hate from her heart. Like, it's not going to happen. Stop trying to make fetch work. So she's annoyed about it, but she eventually acquiesces and agrees. Now, the morning of this, fake go to the house and do whatever, she has an attitude, and she says that she's not excited about what's about to happen. And I thought to myself, Sumit, why didn't you guys go over the night before and clean? Like, why are you now having her over here, like trying to like rush and clean? Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. But then again, who's living in this house? Whose stuff is all of this? Whose house are they cleaning? I don't even understand it. And the house is dirty, and we all know that Sumit's mom does not like a dirty house. I mean, like Sumit's mom is Bilal, very OCD.
But whose mom likes a dirty house? Who likes a dirty house? I mean, Jenny's like, I don't want them coming over judging me. And I'm like, Jenny girl, like, and listen, Jenny and Sumit are a friend of me. Like, they will DM me if I say something crazy about them. So like, I say this with all sincerity. I don't care how old you are. Your house needs to be clean. And if you don't feel like cleaning it, then you need to hire somebody to come in and clean it for you. Like that is just the way I feel. I will always feel that way. You cannot push me any other way, especially if you have a whole camera crew. Now, if you are just a hermit and no one's going to ever come to your house and you only have to clean when you have like guests, that's fine. But if you have a camera crew of people in your house and you know your in-laws are coming over, no matter how old you are, I don't care how set in your ways you are, you have got to clean. If not for them, for at least yourself and decorum and keep up appearances. Ugh.
Yeah, no, totally. And I also want to say this. I think it's also hard for Jenny to clean because do you see the broom she has to use? I mean, it's really like it's like a prop witch's broom. I mean, it's not even a real broom. I mean, like, listen, Jenny, it'd be easier to get in those nooks and crannies and those corners if you had some sort of Swiffer. Anyway, well,
That I mean, I can see what you're saying. However, I feel like India is one of the oldest is one of the eldest cultures in the world, and if they're still using that broom, I figure it must be the best broom ever. So she's sweating while cleaning up the house, and Sumit is trying to push her into like doing more and cleaning more and organizing. And she's in there cleaning that kitchen, and I see no change. I'm like, why are there pots and pans on the ground and like a dish rack? Like, what's all this stuff on the cabinet?
mm-hmm,
You're not doing a good job. And Jenny at this point is kind of like given up and doesn't really want to support this. And
mm-hmm.
so she gets frustrated because she is wearing one outfit and she doesn't want to sweat. And I said, girl, if you didn't want to sweat, why'd you move to India? So then Sumit is like a ball of nerves. Chris?
Yep. Smith's a ball of nerves, and then like ding dong, his parents are here, and his brother and his sister-in-law. And so he goes to the door, and we get to see some like of their greeting. So Sumit kisses his father and his mother's feet. Then the sister-in-law kisses his feet, and then he shakes hands with the brother. And so it was just like okay, like there's a hierarchy, honey, if I ever saw one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. I mean, that's not crazy to me, but it's interesting to me to see that somehow the sister-in-law has to submit to Sumit.
Oh, well, also I would just love like so if Jenny was there, would Jenny would Jenny kiss the sister-in-law's feet? Would Jenny kiss the brother-in-law's feet? Can Jenny get on the ground to kiss anyone's feet? But the answer is, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, yes, she can get on the ground. Honey, just put some skates on her. Okay. But they get in the house and, Sumit's like, here, sit on this couch, this great couch. And they all kind of do. And, I will say this, the mom sits down and there's a little breeze in her hair, which makes me feel like there's a fan, which makes me very happy. But guess who doesn't have a fan? Sweaty ass Jenny, honey, who brings in some sweaty tea, some sweaty tea, some sweat tea. You know what I'm saying? Like some chai, but it's sweat tea. Puts it down. And then the mom just goes in. Goes in.
I mean, Jenny can't do anything. She's trying to be a good Indian wife. She comes out with like, the biscuits and the tea, and she's like fanning herself because she's hot. And she's like, "Oh, I'm just a little warm for making tea." And the mother-in-law is like, "Oh, you're hot for making tea." And she's like, "Yeah, it's hot in the kitchen." And she's like, "That's normal. It's normal. So you can't even make tea without breaking a sweat, you filthy American." And then they ask her like, how you're doing. It's real, no one's speaking. So she's like, okay, I guess I'll talk. And they say, how are you doing? And she responds in the language, and everyone kind of giggles because like, it's nice to see her trying to speak the language, but the mom has to take it to another level and be like, oh, look how funny she says it. Like as though like we had to press a button and she just made a statement. And I go, yeah, because she's learning a language, or she's trying to just say, like, I would say mucho gusto, like, yeah, I'm not going to say it as though it's my natural tongue. And so that's when I'm like, oh, this woman is filled with malice and meanness.
Yeah.
Because that dig was stupid. That was an immature, really terrible dig. And then the next thing she says is, look how fat her arms have gotten. And then the sister-in-law, let's throw up this picture of the sister-in-law, who I guess is between a rock and a hard place, especially with the decision that she's going to wear these blue contacts. Who is she trying to be? Jenny? Like, I don't understand. Go, Chris.
I was like, oh, there she goes. Yep, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she's here drinking the tea, and I don't know if she feels obligated to, I don't know, smile and co-sign what the mother-in-law is saying, or she's just awkward, or maybe because I think they must live together, right? I think traditionally the wife comes and lives, so I think she lives with her mother-in-law, and I don't know if she felt comfortable to say or to like not kiki with her in that moment, because that kiki or that look or that smirk made me go, I don't like either of these two ladies for the way that they're treating Jenny.
Yeah, I mean, truth of matter is across the board, do not make comments about the way women or people, but women, mostly women, look, especially if you aren't drop dead gorgeous. And Sumit's mom also has chubby arms, baby boo. She's not a skinny woman. So if you're Ari Spears and you're talk shit about Lizzo, or you're Sumit's mom and you're talk shit about Jenny, like the first thing anyone hears is immediately their eyeballs zoning in on you, because unless you're Heidi Klum, then why the hell are you saying anything? Sumit's mom has fat arms. They're not skinny. She's not a skinny woman at all. And Ari Spears, that like whatever, I mean Aries,
Yeah,
I don't know,
we're there.
that comedian, honey, he's so not in shape and he is so horribly ugly to talk about anyone. It's like, I can't even hear the words coming out of your mouth. You seem like a crazy person. Do you not know what you look like? I mean, don't do it. Just don't do it. I mean, sorry.
Yeah, like I absolutely agree with that. I just think it was like really petty and just really low class and low brow and just like everything that was not an ounce of class. She is a mean girl. She is a bully, and she's bullying her son Sumit. And then the fact is that Sumit sits there and doesn't, I mean, I didn't want him to translate it, but he doesn't even make like a and shake his head noise or something at his mother to like acknowledge the disapproval. And this is exactly what Jenny was worried about. She was worried that she was going to get into this space with these people and they were going to talk shit on her. And Sumit was just going to sit there and not say anything, right? Like there are three people who could translate. Sumit speaks English, the father speaks English, and so does the brother-in-law. Like they all are just sitting there, and the brother-in-law is just sitting there looking, and it is too much for me. And it makes me mad that he is not gonna do anything. So they're sitting there and it's awkward and it's silent. And she's like, why isn't Sumit saying anything? Why isn't Sumit saying anything? Okay, I guess I'll say something. So then she starts off with, yeah, you know, the last time I saw you was, you know, when we walked down the park and you said that you weren't going to stop our wedding, but you also weren't going to support it. And so like, you know, what happened? Like, why haven't I seen you? And Sumit then gets some cojones and decides that he is going to, you know, say that to his mother. And then when his mother is like, oh, I never said that. That's when Sumit like challenges and she's like, show me where I said that. And I said, Sumit, take out the phone. You should have did a screen grab when you watch the episode. Like take out the phone and show her the mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do that. So it that didn't happen. But Chris, I'll let you finish.
Basically, this is what happened. So she's like, I never said that, never said that. And everyone's like, you absolutely did. You absolutely did. You absolutely said that, like, you know, you wouldn't give your blessing to get married, but that, you know, you understand it. And then Sumit says it. He's like, and guess what? We got married, bitch. Mic drop. And I mean, this woman loses her shit, honey, as if she didn't see this coming after the 3 years. I mean, this woman's dumb. I'll be honest. I now officially, Sumit's mom, she's not shit. She's a hateful, weird, uncomfortable, dumb bitch. I'll say it.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Get it together, girl. You're on TV now for 3 years. I don't care where you are. Like, get your mind together. You know you're on TV, so you know something's happening. So I'm gonna tell you this: if this woman's acting and Sumit has like gotten the best person on his side to make sure that they're on the show for the rest of their life, then listen, I don't know, give this woman an Oscar, because she really is a hateful, mean bitch that is like plucked out of India. So I mean, she's giving Meryl Streep vibes, unless this is real, which I feel like it is, because I don't think she is a good actress. I'm just saying. She doesn't deserve any respect. And you know what? She is low class. And you know what? You have that one blue contact wearing sister-in-law. Just be happy you got one.
Yeah. And you have a baby. There's supposedly a baby. Remember she was pregnant, so there's a baby somewhere. So just go on ahead and lean into that. You're not going to get it from Sumit. And for you to just be hateful the whole time is just not a good look. And yeah, I'm glad that she cried at the end. I felt like good for her for those tears. I am sad that Sumit, it feels like besides Jenny, his parents are the only people that love him, and so their treatment of him he puts aside and feels like, you know, it is kind of deserved, but also, you know, the way he feels, he tried it their way and it didn't work. And so
great,
that's the end of them. Let's move on to the next couple, and that is going to be Bilal and Shaida. So it's snowing in Kansas City. And first of all, the confessional picture of Shida with a blue hijab is, I mean, sorry, with a green hijab, this emerald green hijab is so beautiful. I don't have a picture of it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So Bilal and Shida are having a good time in the snow. This is her first time experiencing snow. And anybody who has lived in snow knows this, that what Shida is playing in is first fall. Okay. She's like, I love it. It tastes great. I want to make snow angels. I don't know how disgusting Kansas City can get, but I know New York weather and I know New York winters. And like, it's cool for like the first day. And then after that, it can all be taken away, please. Chris?
Yeah, definitely be taken away. But she's having the time of her life, honey, and I get it. I get it. Now, yeah, she's always been impeccably dressed. I mean, she like does monochromatic like nobody's business. I mean, she can go into a cream and ivory like a tan, like no, like head to toe, honey, and it's gorge. So they go to a restaurant and I'll tell you, even though she looks gorge, at this restaurant, honey, I mean, Bilal, I mean, it is cold, so we'll give him that. But Bilal shows up, my love, looking like Teddy Ruxpin. I mean, you remember that doll, honey? I mean, like, his tummy like is hard, but like he'll tell you a story. That's
Yeah.
just like Bilal. Will lecture you a whole ass story. Don't even worry about it. He's cozy though.
I feel like that hood, he would pull it up and it would have little ears on it. Like he looks like a little bit, when babies are little and you put them in like full on onesies for the winter and it's like a little animal. It's like that's what he was wearing, but a life-size version of it. He 100%. I don't know if you guys remember the Teddy Ruxpin doll, but it was basically a teddy bear that had like batteries in it and his eyes would blink and his mouth would open and then you put like a tape in his back, like a cassette tape in his back, and he would tell you a story. I fed mine pancakes and so he stopped working, but
where'd you put the pancakes?
In his mouth.
In like what the syrup like went down into his back and like
I guess, girl, I can't I'm just gonna tell you what happened. Okay. Happened is I was sitting at the breakfast table and I had Teddy on my lap and I was eating pancakes and I said, Teddy, do you want pancakes? And he blinked his eyes and and I fed him pancakes and he stopped working. I don't know the mechanics. I don't remember the exact details, but I lost my Teddy Ruxpin.
He was anyways intolerant. He doesn't like the gluten, my loves. Yeah, but go on. Talk about the iced tea and then tell us about that.
So then I don't know. Shida is like saying that she's concerned about eating beef in the US because just like a Caribbean, and let me tell you, this is on my side of the family, honestly, both sides of the family, if I'm going to be honest, is that you cook your meat well done, period, point blank. There is no medium rare, none of that. And I had to learn that as a full adult. Like I was fully in New York City before one of my friends were like, okay, I'm going to have to stop you because you are uncultured because you keep ordering everything well done. Stop it. And I was, no.
Okay.
You didn't eat meat, boo. Don't you remember your life before? Yeah, go on ahead and just You're
right. I was a vegetarian for 14 years, but even I know that even if I, as a vegetarian, if you were to order steak, you always order it medium rare. Always.
That's an American thing. It's just an American thing. So
French,
like, because
I think it's also a French thing.
I mean, Chris wants me to care about fucking France more. Every time she talks about France, I roll my eyes. I get upset. I tell her I don't care about those colonizers. And she just wants to force French down my throat as though like they are the pinnacle of whiteness or Europeanness. Like that is what I think. And I'm like, I don't care about the French.
Oh, okay. Anyways, wait, sorry. No, I don't think they're the pinnacle of whiteness. Wow. Letting me okay. No, all I think is that they know how to cook. Wow. That's what I'm saying. They do know how to cook things.
I don't agree.
Okay, well, God bless. We got to move on. So basically, Shy like orders like an unsweetened iced tea, and then she doesn't like the taste of it, and like Bilal's like, yeah, because you ordered an unsweetened iced tea. It's like, let me try your drink, and then he's like, absolutely not, and she like grabs it and she like puts both straws in her mouth, and Bilal hates that. We know he's OCD. We know that he probably does not like to put other people's like stuff that are in their mouth into their mouth. So I get it, and sometimes I don't get it. Like sometimes I get there's certain things like I have a cousin Nicole who like won't share dairy. She thinks it's the grossest thing ever, which I kind of get. And I like she doesn't. I don't know. I'm just telling you, she will not share dairy. What? Wah?
I just had a question. Oh yeah, you did say dairy. In what you mean, like yogurts? Like if you were like, let me have some of your yogurt, she wouldn't do that.
Yeah, or ice cream.
Oh, ice cream. Great. That's what I. Okay, great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So she like puts her whole mouth on the straws, and he's like, "Look at that backwash." And I just think to myself, like, she knows she's doing that because she knows that he hates that. Like, she knows it. She's like, whatever, but she wants because she could just order something else. We know that this man, she doesn't mind spending this man's money at
Yeah.
all. Like, if I were her, I'd just be like, another drink, please, not this one. Anyway.
Yeah, you know what's interesting is that like I mean I can't speak for Trinidad. I can't speak for them, but I know that like in the Caribbean you do drink tea, and I don't know if it's iced, to be honest. I've never had iced tea in the Caribbean. So maybe it's that she was expecting a very specific type of tea prepared in the way that she was used to it and didn't realize like that it was going to come tasting like that. Cuz growing up I drank either milk tea or lemon tea. So yeah, maybe she was confused as to what that was going to be. But also, Chris, you brought a very good point. She has a problem with tongues. She made a comment that she doesn't like it when he doesn't wash his tongue and like scrape his tongue. She likes a pink tongue and not a furry dairy tongue. And so so it's weird that she would like put her mouth all over his straws. And it's a passive aggressive tactic to get him to get over his OCD. And that is not how it's going to work.
Yeah, she likes a pink tongue, but not a pink steak. Moving on with them, they get in the car, honey, and then we get to relive the drama that is her situation with his ex-wife and also the mother of his children, Shahida.
Oh my God. I'm actually, no, all seriousness. Thank you. It was great.
Now you take it over.
Okay. So she says that she doesn't want baby mama drama. And I think that's really interesting for somebody who married somebody has a baby mama, who has an ex-wife, who it's just like weird that she's kind of trying to back herself out of dealing with Shahida when you've married Shahida, essentially. Like not fully, because I don't want the girlies whose our partners have exes to get on me and say that, X, Y, and Z. I guess I'm just thinking of it from a vantage point of not having actually been in it and wanting all the adults to get along, especially when there's children involved. It would be different if Bilal had older kids who were out of the house and or who were slightly, on their own or adults. Then I could see her saying that she doesn't want to deal with Shahida 100%. But at this point, Shida has to deal with Shahida because she's going to have Shahida's children 50-50. And I think Bilal is correct when he says, I just need everyone to get along. And it's up to both of them to do so. So they're on their way to meet her. And we then bring up again how she felt so disrespected in her own home, which every time she says that, I was like, is that your own home? I mean, I guess it was, but barely.
I think it's a boundary. I think I actually kind of like it. She was like, you were not going to come in here right off the bat. I'm going to tell you what the hell you're not going to do is boss me around. I'm here now. I actually kind of like it. By the way, you notice how Wog got their names right? You know who didn't? And me, you know who didn't get their names right? Bilal.
Yep. He did a Freudian slip and called Shida Shahida. And then he's like, oh, yeah, I have a Rolodex of Shahida Shidas in my a Rolodex, I guess. And I thought to myself, also, you pick women who look a lot alike too. Like both Shahida and Shida are very fair-skinned Black women, and I feel like your other girlfriends probably were too. So there's a lot of similarities with that. But that's all I have to say about them. Chris, you have anything else to say?
All right. Let's move on, my love. Okay, honey, on to Libby and Andre. You know what? At first I was kind of mad At first I was kind of mad that they were back, but I'm kind of happy about it now because I think they're going to provide drama, and and I'm going to probably want it as in comparison to other dramas, and that's just how shitty this HEA cast is to me. But anyway, um, listen, Elizabeth looks great. She's like lost some weight, and not that just because the last time we saw her, she had just had that baby. She looks super, super gorgeous, super trim. They're like playing tennis, like they're doing healthy things as a family. That baby's running around in a tennis outfit, doesn't know how to hit a ball at all. But every time the ball even comes near the baby, like, great job. The baby's like, God bless.
The baby. And I know the reason why I'm excited to see Andre is because I'm excited to see Andre. You know what I'm saying? Like that is I thought you were gonna say that. You're like, I'm excited for this couple because of Andre. And then so we see him playing tennis with the baby and being excited about it. And it's always a cute moment. I love seeing, fathers and daughters. It's a thing for me. I love to see it. So then we find out that they have purchased the new house because he's doing really well in real estate with Chuck. And Chuck comes to the new house and they, show him around and they're really excited to, show off the fruits of their labor. And then they start to do some future speak in which we find out that Libby wants to be a singer. Chris?
I cannot believe we have to have 2 musical talents on this season. You mean we get to have Soldier Boy and Libby Girl? Like, I don't know what Libby's, I'm like, what music do you sing? I'm going to guess it's country. I mean, I'm guessing it's 100%. There's something about her family. I'm like, you sing country. You absolutely do. Like, you're not going to be singing anything that's not country. Like, it's not going to be, Yeba, like, or whatever.
I 100% thought it was going to be show tunes. Like I was like, and I'm stuck in a day. That's great. And like, that's what I imagined her singing.
No, that would mean that she'd had gay friends.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, no, it's country.
Yeah,
it's absolutely country. I know she's no, she didn't. That would mean that this person was a theater nerd and this person had gone to like camps and things. And like, no, not ever. I love the fact that she has a later conversation and jump around. Her mom's like, oh, you just used to sing around the house a lot. And I want to be like, okay, so has she done anything at all besides the singing in the house when she was like 7 and now? I mean, are you telling me that like, what, nothing, she's done no singing since at all? No choir? I mean, I'm telling you, like, what? Anyway, honey, listen, at the same time, half her family is using the fame from the show to be an OnlyFans. So if she wants to use the fame to be the Melissa Gorga of the season, that's fine. That's fine. And Melissa Gorga lasted 1 year. Remember that? I'm on display, on display, on display. Wad doesn't know what I'm talking about. It's Real Housewives of New Jersey. That's fine. Okay, Wad, take it away.
Yeah, I guess because she's an actor. Don't you remember that she was in like that one Christian like movie that one time? And so that's why I thought musical theater. But that's a really good take, Chris. You're really intuitive when it comes to these things because I was like, I don't know what that child's gonna sing. So, anyways, they're getting a house tour and they're seeing all the homes, and Andre is excited for his wife to, jump into the world of singing. And so they're going to build her a studio and soundproof it. And, he's just talking about like future speak. And the dad is like, well, what about you want to be a singer? Like, what about your dedication to me in the business? And she like gets upset. She's like, we're not going to we're just talking about it. And Andre's like, no, Lib, you want to be singer. Lib, you can do singing now. Like, I have job, Lib. I'm making real estate, and she's like, that's not the accent, but I'm going to get it.
I loved it. Oh, I loved it, Wa. No, I thought it was great. Okay.
Yeah, like, I'm going to get, yeah. So anyways, like, he and then he starts to yell, and she's like, Andre, you do not yell in front of your daughter. Stop it. And the dad is just like standing there, and I'm like,
Chuck.
Maybe Chuck was a yeller, and so that's why this like interaction isn't jarring. What did you think, Chris?
Oh, I think the whole family yelled the entire time. Chuck doesn't even have ears left. You know what I'm saying? Like all those snatches were yelling at each other all the time. That just seems like normal talking to him. Like he didn't even realize they were yelling. But basically, then we get the other staff, which they all go to lunch. No, they all go. Elizabeth leaves those two men and her baby alone and then goes to have a lunch with her sisters and her mom. And it starts off outside, honey, and she's late, and they're all like, "Oh, you're always late." And she's like, "Hi, bitches, and mom." And the mom's like, "Well, I can be a bitch too because I was like talking shit about you, haha." And then the Lord rains down tears on them for being horrible, horrible people. You know what I'm saying? Just classless, weird people. So the Lord starts crying on them, hates them so much, and then they have to immediately get inside to like finish this hellish lunch, honey. Where then we get into this thing where the mom is like, "Remember your brother Charlie?" Anyway, it's been a minute since you've all seen him. And they're like, "Yeah, because he's literal trash, alcoholic trash. And that wife of his, too, I mean, is like the bottom of the barrel." And the mom's like, "Yes, yes, yes. But as you know, for some reason, your dad and I, even though we're divorced, we still have one thing in common besides you hellish monsters, which is just some sort of disgusting drive to want to get you all together as if." And at the same time, it's like, why? You know, do you want to have a horrible birthday, mom? And the answer is yes. She's begging them to come and have a beautiful birthday with her and Charlie and make amends, and like will not understand them when they say Charlie is an alcoholic. He is toxic. And every time we're around him, it's trashy and horrible. Literally, we're like, people get in fights. So since we're all like working women with families and some kids, we don't want to be around him. And the mom was like, "I don't think it's too much to ask for all my kids to be together for my birthday." And they're all like, "Actually, it is too much to ask. You're insane." No, it is. We're all adults. We have boundaries. We have now told you to your face that you made someone who's an alcoholic addict, and we don't want to be around that person. And instead of being like, "You know what? You're right. How did we make such an alcoholic addict, horrible man that decided to marry even like a trashier woman? Like, I don't know how I did it. Let me look back and look at my wrongs." She's trying to force these women to come together with Charlie. And the funny part is they're all horrible, but like Charlie's so bad that they have finally drawn a line, and they don't want to be around Charlie. And the mom is like trying to gaslight and manipulate them to be in front of them. What?
Yeah, it's just like a boomer. And I know people fight me on this, and the boomers are going to be mad, but it's just like a thing for me this year. Like, there is just such a difference in the way, because many of us who are millennials, our parents are boomers, right? And there's just a different way that they have learned to maneuver the world. And they maneuver the world by covering up, ignoring, and just like forging through. And not all of them, obviously, this is not a sweeping statement. So if you're a boomer, girl, calm down. But like, that is just the way they manage things. And it's always like a situation of, this is what I want. I'm the parent, and this is what I think is right. And if I say that it's correct, then it's correct. But don't let a boomer decide not to talk to their sibling. It's okay then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It's 100% okay for them to do it. But if you want to set up a boundary with anybody in your life, they're like, "Well, you gotta be something. You gotta forgive. You can't just hold on." It's like, no one's holding on to anything. I've let it go, and I've set up the boundary, and I'm actually happy. So yes, us telling you that there is a problem, it's crazy that you will ignore our feelings and only think about yourself and how you feel about your children, and not even address the issue with Charlie and his problem. It's, yeah, Chris, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right when you said that. The one thing I want to kind of call back to is, because I don't remember the time that Andre and Charlie fought, I also don't remember the cry that came out of Chuck Sr.'s mouth when they did that replay of like him being like, I was like, what? That is the pained sound of a boomer. Like,
I was like, is that a sound from like a man that like no like has like one liver left? Like, I don't even understand. Like, and the funny thing is, in front of like, so at this lunch, the mom starts also a crocodile tear. She's like, "I just want you, Becky, and you, Bookie, and you, Liz, I don't know their names, to come and have come have a birthday lunch." And she's like, and then the next scene, she's like, "I just really think it'd be great." Like, it's everything is fake. I mean, this woman is as dry as every other part of her. I mean, nothing is coming out. You know what I'm saying? No Nivea, no Nivea needed. Anything else about them, Will?
No, let's move on. All right, the next couple that we are going to talk about, I mean, this was like a great segment for them, is Kimbali and Soja Boy. So we start off this episode seeing Kimberly's feet as she's laying up on a under a UV light, and we hear diamond, 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 and we're like, what are we listening? What is this sound that is happening? It was just like, it was like, I can't, the genre of music wasn't exactly like what I would consider like Afro beats, Nigerian, but I'm not the best at delineating between the different genres of music on the continent, right? I can delineate the different genres of music in the US. And it was like this weird hybrid of just like bad hip hop and like bad Afro beats. And it was Soulja Boy is what we were hearing. That's why. Yeah. So we get a little bit of backstory about Kim and Soulja Boy's relationship, and we quickly realize that, just as Chris said, they should not be on Happily Ever After, because Happily Ever Afters are people who have gotten married, and these two have not gotten married. In fact, last season, what happened is that she went from potential girlfriend. No, she even tells the story wrong. She went from fan to super fan, and then when she got to Tanzania, she was still a super fan, and then she went to potential while in Tanzania, and then after the show, or right before it ended, she went to girlfriend, but then was mad at him because he didn't want to like kiss her at the airport. And then we see on the tell-all that she's mad because he talked to the Azara afterwards, and she was blindsided by that. And then in between, which we didn't get caught on camera, she actually went to Nigeria. So before she was in Tanzania, now she went to Nigeria to hang out with him. And she says that he treated her like a queen, I guess, when the cameras weren't there. And so she has like a lot of trust in him. But she said that she'd been married for 20 years and she never thought that something like this would happen. And all she was going to do was just like, live her life, and banging someone out is the word that she used. Chris, let's talk about it.
Banging someone out, honey. I mean, like, that was like, listen, when she said it, I was like, oh, Jamal's gonna hear it. I feel bad for Jamal. That was my first thought. And then when she says, then she talks about again how she she met Soulja Boy online. She slid into his DMs. Like, I don't even know. She's like, she says she doesn't know what she was even thinking. And I'll tell you what she was thinking. She was watching 90 Day Fiancé, like we all are, and then saw him and like saw how he put it down raw with Lisa, baby girl, Lisa. Remember her? And then was like, I want to bang it out raw, and then slid into his DMs. And then I guess he called her, not FaceTime, it's like a video call through Instagram. She declines it, goes in a room. She sprays herself down with the raspberry, body fantasy spray. She starts putting makeup on, and she calls him back, and she's like, oh, sorry, I was just busy. Hi. And they talk for 3 hours. What? Can you believe it?
I mean, she says that it was awkward at first, but then it got really comfortable, and then they just continued to talk from there on out. And it was like, what's happening? Oh my God, I'm meeting like a superstar. We all remember her obsession with Michael Jackson, so that's all I kept thinking.
I forgot.
And so then we cut to her getting her teeth whitened, and then the woman who was whitening her teeth, the dental hygienist, was doing her best supplementary character work, and I said bravo to that. Here I always pay attention to what the supplementary characters are doing, because I feel like they add a little spice to it, and she did her very best. It's like, he better appreciate my whitened teeth. And so the next scene is that she goes to hang out with her friends, and then she's like, you guys notice anything different? And she's like grinning from ear to ear. And then they notice that her teeth are whiter, and they're like, why did you do that? And she's like, well, you remember he said something about it, and I'm always self-conscious about it. And I thought to myself, first of all, you should have gone and done that on your own. Period, point blank. Like, don't. And then the friends to be like, oh, you're doing it for him. I'm like, no, girl, she did it for her, and she did it for us. Chris,
she did do it. She did do it for us. Listen, she's also, I hope that it wasn't the painful one, because I think there's like some, I don't know if you've ever gotten your teeth whitened before, but I have twice in my life, and it was like one of the most painful things that hurts so bad. But I think that new thing, what she's doing, I think it might be different now. It might be a little bit easier. Oh no, it's horrible, because in order to whiten your teeth, they like literally like have to get rid of all the biofilm and like the first layer of teeth to actually bleach it, and your nerves go crazy. It's so horribly painful. You would have never known, but it's bad. I mean, really bad. But at this dinner, the friends start asking questions that are like questions that I want answers to, and Kimberly has asinine answers, if not one. So they're basically like, okay, girl, what's gonna happen? She's like, yeah, I'm gonna be the first wife. I'm totally okay with it. He's gonna have a second wife. It's just to have the kids. But let me tell you, the first wife is like basically who he loves, and the second wife is just like a baby maker. And they're like, really? So just okay, so you're telling us that he's gonna bring on a second wife who's gonna be younger than you because you can't have kids, and that's why. So he's gonna make a baby with someone and then watch this person give birth to his baby and like not really be in love with that woman. She's like, mm-hmm. And then they're like, okay, so then what's gonna happen? She's like, then he's gonna move to America. And they're like, okay, girl, but like what's gonna happen to the kids? She's like, oh, the kids will stay wherever they are. And they're like, is he gonna be okay with that? She's like, yeah, I'm not gonna have him live with me. Her answers are like, do you hear what you're saying? Do you hear what you're saying?
And it's just like, you're wild if you're making up some kind of cultural difference between, I don't know, some men and some American men and some African men, that they would just be okay leaving their children back in their country and be like, it was like a wild American, just dumb thing to say. This man is not gonna leave a woman whose culture he shares, who is most likely gonna be beautiful, who is gonna be the mother of his firstborn, and also be someone that his family completely loves and envelops, and is just gonna like move to the US with you and never gonna see them again, but just know that he has kids in Nigeria somewhere. Like, that is crazy. And if we remember, he's Muslim. So like, it is not just like he's gonna just have a second wife just like back there, and he's not gonna even like, this woman is obviously gonna not obviously, but this woman might share a religion with him. So of course he's gonna want to be with that. No, Kimberly needs to truly think about what she's saying, because this man is not going to give up his life and his culture and his community to come live with you in San Diego with your jacked up teeth.
Well, she got them whitened. Yeah, I mean, no, everything she's saying is like, like a fairy tale, like that she has just told herself. I mean, and her friends are looking at her open mouth agape, and they're like, no. She gets pissed off because truth is too much truth, I guess, and so she has to go walk away and come back, and then they're just like, I don't know, we don't know what to tell you. You have to get these answers. Like, we're your friends. And we don't even know why, because you're insane. And she's like, no, I know. I mean, like, I know I have to get these answers. It's just I don't want to talk about it. Get really defensive of like my delusions. I mean, my dreams and my delusional dreams.
Yeah. It's just like, I just want everybody to be happy for me. And I'm like, strangers can be happy for you. Strangers. But the people who are going to be left picking up your broken heart and dealing with you and your sadness are going to warn you off of making this choice. And that's just the way friendships work. Because otherwise, like, what kind of friend would I be if I just supported you through something stupid, and then on top of that, then have to on the back end support you again when you're crying and falling down? Like, no, I'm going to try to avoid having to emotionally give you more when this goes south, Yeah. So let me just say. You're right. Yeah, it's like, but her thing is bananas. So she tells him that she's gonna go back to Nigeria in a few days and propose and meet his family. And my thought is, how much money is she taking out of her 401k or pension to go back and forth to Nigeria? I know actual Nigerians who, when they go home to Nigeria, have housing, have a place to stay, who don't go to Nigeria as much as this woman has probably been to Nigeria in the last 18 months. That is a long flight. It's like, I mean, Chris, you just got back not from Nigeria, but you just got back from abroad, and that was a long flight, was it not?
It was 11 hours to London, and then I took a 4.5-hour train ride to Scotland. But like, Wa knows, like, I'm a dead person right now. Like, I don't know what time it is. I woke up at 6 this morning, and then I went back to bed at like 9, and then I had to wake up at like 11:15. It's like Vegas in my mind and in my soul, so I don't know. And I don't know what's happening for her. Yeah, basically she wants to go back and meet the fam. I mean, meeting his fam and her is going to be, you know what, that's going to be good TV though. So thank you, I guess, for being on HEA. I guess at the end of all this, I guess thank you, because it'll be good TV. Well,
Yeah.
I'm yeah.
I mean, I guess I guess that's what I just said. She's spending a lot of money and it's not going to be a good return for her. I'm going to guess that she's spending at least $4,000 each trip. And that is, I'm going to say 5. Cuz honestly, the plane ride there, and then no matter, I'm sure she's taking like many layovers to get there, and then she has to get a hotel, and she's not going to the Caribbean, so it's not the same flight, it's not the same situation, and he's probably not paying for anything. He's
Mhm,
probably not providing her any kind of insider, hey, you know what, I'm gonna get this hotel for you, because I'll pay a different price as a native, and then you
mhm,
can just reimburse me. Like, none of that is happening. He is
mhm,
coming to stay with her at whatever resort or
mhm.
Holiday Inn or whatever place that Angela Deem stayed in Lagos.
Ghost
I don't know.
traveling, the Lagos traveling.
Yeah, like you know what I'm saying? Like, at
Yes.
least Michael had a car to drive her around with. I'm pretty sure that Michael probably provided something for Angela. But like, Soldier Boy is a succubus. He is a user. I mean, why does anyone think that this situation with Kim is going to be any different than Baby Girl Lisa, but in BLG? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
No, BGL. So, y'all, that was the end of this. Oh no, it's
No,
not.
not at all. So our final couple
Jesus
is
Christ.
Jovi and Yara, honey. Jovi and Yara. Let's bring them up and let's see how much that baby looks like Jovi. That's true. I don't have a picture of the baby, but it looks like Jovi. Just take my word for it. And the baby's name is Mila. And Jovi's been taking care of Mila. It just seems like, Jovi's schedule is 1 month on, 1 month off. So we pick up. Jovi is playing with Mila. Mila is like running around, doesn't really care about Jovi, doesn't really care about her mom. She's like, in this stage where she's like, exploring new things. She's very independent, that Mila. And we get Yara, who's getting ready. Now, remember, Yara had opened all of these like shops to sell things, but then people were like, okay, but you're really just buying things off of Alibaba and repackaging them as your stuff. And we get to see like her lipstick, her like she's wearing like a lip gloss. It comes out, it's all bedazzled rhinestones, and I I hated it. It looked so cheap. I was like, oh girl, like Yara, I thought you had better taste in this. Yara, I feel like her whole aesthetic is look as rich as possible for as cheap as humanly possible. Like she wants to look as rich as possible, but like nothing can be possibly real. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever. But one thing I will say is that she did at least give Mila a black Chanel esque looking baby bag with gold hardware, and it matched her, like whether it's real or not, YSL black handbag. We're not quite sure, but yeah, she's getting ready. She's going to go out with her friends, and Jovi feels some way about that, which is basically bad. Like she shouldn't go out, or if she was going out, he wants to be going out as well. But like he's gone a month out of the time and she's just with the kid alone. So when he comes back, she's like, here, take the kid. Let me have human adult conversations. We're supposed to be led to believe in this initial scene that their marriage is literally going down the toilet. What?
We're also supposed to believe that they would not be together right now if it weren't for Mila.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also supposed to believe that Yara is just kind of with that baby all day, and she is, but also his mother is there as well. Like they're very active on social media, and we know that Gwen goes over as often as possible. We also find out that Yara moved to like the country so that Mila could be like in a safer space, and he doesn't necessarily like it. And then they bring up the strip club situation. And so we're now in this place where I'm just like, don't start off negative. Like, let's start off with some positives, like, because it could only just go downhill from here. And otherwise, there's no stakes. It's not interesting. Because at this point, if y'all are like, about to break up because she wants to go hang out with some bad influences, then like what do I want to watch y'all for? I want to root for your love. I want to root for whatever. And right now I'm not rooting for you guys.
Mm.
Chris?
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. One other part is when she gets ready, she is wearing heels on in the house. Remember, she bought that white rug, honey. You know the white rug is there. God bless. And who knows if it's like still white because the baby was all over it. But Jovi's like, look at those heels on in our home. And
Joey!
she picks up her shoe and she's like, that's not clean. Now, why did you think that happened, Wah?
Well, because she was like, I think she's finally gotten over her like, oh, this is what it should be because she has a kid and she hasn't been able to live up to the standard that she tried to put out there. When she was like, Jovi, why you walking house with shoes on from Bourbon Street? Jovi, why you do that to Jovi? So the rules have changed, and so he's calling her out on it, which I thought was great. She deserved to be called out on it for that. But then she finally goes out and is with her friends who are like blonde, and I was just like,
How
I don't
old are they?
remember them. I don't know. It was like they were all like Jen and Becky of Libby. Like they were just like Jen and Becky lookalikes. They all had kids. They all breastfed. And then the thing that I didn't like about it is that I felt like they were commiserating, and that was nice. But also, I didn't like the fact that Yara allowed them to talk as much ish about her husband as they did by calling him like basically ugly, and saying that he's jealous and that she could do so much better. And I just didn't like it. And then they started talking about their breasts, and I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then we get to the point where we realize that Jovi has told Yara that her breasts aren't nice anymore. And then I was just like, oh, okay, I don't like that. It's just a lot of like back and forth of not liking whatever is being produced.
Yeah,
Chris?
it was like these friends. Oh, sorry. Yeah, these friends just, it was like their overall vibe wasn't like a like loving, warm vibe. It was more kind of just incredibly superficial. Like, you're hotter than Jovi. Oh no, he's totally jealous. And like, let's get boobs and like get your power, your pee power that's also like in your boobs. Like you need like boob power and pee power. Like it was just kind of like women that whose voices I just like can't listen to too much. Like it's not that I want Yara to have like friends that are put together but also like have some depth. I like Yara and so I want the best for her. Yeah, one friend looked way older. She was like, you're so young, you're 28. And so when she said that, I was like, oh, this girl's like 42. And then the other girl, it was blah, but I don't know what to tell you. That girl, well, no, I cannot even like tell you one morsel of what that person was or looked like. I mean, you didn't even need that person. But yeah, they try and be like, well, Jovi's cute and you're really cute together. Like you guys make a cute couple, but let's just face it, like that's because you're hot and he's not. Like you're so much hotter than him. And she's like, yeah, and he gets mad because he has my location services on so he can see where I am. And I say this, I think that if you are married, it is 100%. It's expected, especially if you have a kid together, that you get to know where your other person is at all times. I like it. I want it. I want that, and I like it. I like the fact that like you got married to someone, so you have that one person in your life that like should know where you are if things have happened, and like you probably shouldn't be like weirded out the person knows where you are because what are you keeping from that person? And if you have a kid together, it's like you both created this product that walks the earth, and sometimes you have to have a meeting with the co-creators to like go to the drawing board for something. Gotta know where the co-creator is. I'm okay with that, obviously.
I agree. I definitely agree. I have location services on my father, and when my mother couldn't find him, she was like, I told her where he was, and she's like, how do you know that? And I was like, I have location services on him, don't tell him. And she's like, okay. And I was like, I can help you get it too. She's like, okay. But like
you also location services for me
because you
made you.
Yeah, because you made me.
Made you.
Because you made me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
and I would again. Listen, if you're listening to this podcast, if you're listening to it right now, I would, for all our listeners, if you want to send me your location, I'll watch where you all are. Just also, can you give us a 5-star review? Thank you so much.
All right, you guys. So that is the end of our pod. I want to thank you guys so much for talking with us. Please don't forget to tell your friends about us doing podcasts. We are taking it. Chris will do hers on her channel. And wait, should I say that?
Yeah, no, it's true.
Okay. Yeah. Chris will do a review of this show on her channel. It's still up in the air because I'm doing UK and I don't know if I can fit in 2 Sunday shows to talk about twice. But if y'all want to be on our Patreon and you want to see the pictures and see our facial expressions, then you could join us on docusweeties.com/Patreon. Nope.
The
You
other
can
way
find
around.
us on you can find us on patreon.com/docusweeties. And that's $10 a month, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, we're very down to give you this free content. You can follow us on all our socials. We're DocuSweeties on Twitter and Instagram, and we're on that Instagram, my loves. We also have a TikTok. It's DocuSweeties too, and we're working towards content there. Don't even worry about it. But we are so thankful that you are listening to us. We're excited for this season of Happily Ever After, minus some couples, and we love you. We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Alrighty. Bye.
Bye.